Welcome to CLK Creates. I'm CLK, Candace Kitchen, and welcome to my channel. Thank you to those who have subscribed and have come back, and welcome to those who are new. Here I talk about my crafting journey. Tends to be quilting, knitting, crochet, cross stitch, and more. So welcome. Just really quick, I meant to do this podcast back on December 18th. But I had caught whatever cold, flu, whatever was going around. It knocked me down pretty good, but I'm feeling much better now, thankfully. But I felt just a little bit better just before Christmas. So luckily I had all my shopping done. I just didn't have anything wrapped, so I did some kind of quasi wrapping tissue paper bag thing. But anyways, we made it work, and Christmas was still nice and relaxing here where I live, in Dufferin County in Canada, Ontario in Canada, Shelburne, Ontario, Canada. We had a snowmageddon. We had very high winds for 2 or 3 days. All the roads in our county were closed. Couldn't go anywhere. Yeah. So, we just hung around and just the four of us and our moo-moos, our dog. And it was a nice relaxing Christmas holiday. And then we always go to my sister-in-law's in Barrie for Christmas Day for dinner. And we open our presents, hang out for a bit, and then we go over there for Christmas dinner, open some more presents, and have a lovely time. So luckily the weather switched, so we were able to do that. So yeah, it was a good time. So Merry past Christmas, since it's already happened, and Happy New Year. Should have started with that one. So today, as I record, it is January 1st, 2023. We made it through 2022. It was quite the year, and it was good, and there was bad. So you know what? It went so fast. We're ready for 2023, or at least I am. And the way I'm going to cope with all of that is crafting. So here we go. I've been a little busy and crazy. So I just want to let you know that I love engaging with you all with the comments below. I like to answer questions, whether they're technical or such. So I got a question from my last podcast, and the question was, do you knit continental, so that's the yarn in the left hand, or the other way, which is called English style or throwing, but usually English, which is yarn in the right hand, or both? So it's a mixed answer. So here's the answer. So predominantly I'm in English. I throw my yarn when I knit, and I don't flick, but I throw, and I just kind of go in that motion with my right hand. I am predominantly right-handed, so that's my dominant hand. But when I'm doing color work, I use both. So when I have one color in usually the background color or the accent color in my left hand, and the background color in my right, and I can do that. I haven't figured out how to continental knit purl wise, and it looks a little more twisty and convoluted for me. So, and I'm fairly efficient and quick, and I like my tension with the way that I do it, English style. So yeah, so it's a two-part question. I use both, but I predominantly use English on my right hand, and color work is with two. So, and if you ever go on YouTube and Google any of those kind of techniques, there's lots of tutorials on those as well. So yeah, so thank you for your question. Bring them on. I love questions. On my last episode, I had mentioned that it was going to be my 50th birthday. So I am now in my 51st year. Anyways, I am now 50. So I had asked you for help by the way, it was a lovely birthday. I did exactly what I had planned. I relaxed on the couch. I did crafty stuff, and my family tended to my needs. I.e. tea, glass of water, lunch, dinner, and my son made me breakfast. So that was nice. He made me scrambled eggs. But yeah, so it was wonderful, because as super mom, I only get two of those special days, my birthday and Mother's Day, and I hold them to it. So my poor family. But anyhow, so the last episode, I had asked for your help in helping me pick between 2 knitting projects as a birthday start and between 2 cross stitch projects as a birthday start. So you guys, you went to work and you gave me your opinions, and I went with the winners for both, because I really couldn't decide. I wanted to do all of them, and I will. The 2 that didn't win, I will definitely do later in the year, hands down. Like, I want to get them done this year as well, or at least started, right? So for knitting, I'm going to give you the counts. So I'm going to put the 2 up here where it was competing. So it was The Pink is for Power by Melanie Berg and Widow's Kiss by Baby Cocktails, which is Thea Coleman. And the winner is Pink. So The Pink is for Power. On the podcast, the tally was between 10 for Pink, 2 for the Widow's Kiss. And then I also asked on Instagram. I did a poll on Instagram, and the poll was 71% for Pink and 29% for the Widow's Kiss. So I definitely went with Pink. So I'll show you that before I move on to the cross stitch. And I got a lot of work done, especially when I was laying there sick, sitting zombified for a while. So here we are. It is well and started. So what you do first is you start with the back and you work back and forth, and you do some short rows until a certain measurement. And then you pick up at the shoulder, cast on, pick up at the shoulder, and then work. Oh, this is hard to show with the cord on. When I have it further along, you'll really get to see it, but there we go. Isn't that pretty? So I've already done one full repeat, because I'm doing this and then I'm mirroring that little twisty butterfly look downwards, and that's the part I'm on now. So I continue doing this until a certain measurement, but the pattern suggests that you try it on and make sure that you have enough room in the armhole before you join and continue on. So, and eventually I'll be working in the round with this. Oh, it's going to be so nice. I love it. Oh, as you know, I already have an outfit picked for it. So, but, oh, it's going to be so nice. And working with this yarn. So this is, I'd mentioned it before, Manos del Uruguay, Alegria, however you want to pronounce it. Oh, it's so nice. It's color cactus flower. And I love, this has such wonderful tactile feel when you're knitting with this yarn. I just love it. I love it. I bought it at Little Red Mitten in St. Thomas, and I'll put the link below for their shop. But oh yeah, I was doing really well with that, going gangbusters. Oh, one of my drawstring bags. That's a large. So very happy with that. Definitely, I probably won't be wearing it this year, but I'll be definitely wearing it next year. So for the cross stitch, it was between the Gooderham building, which we have in Toronto. One day maybe I'll pop down there. It's in downtown Toronto, right on Front Street, so I can go and maybe take a pic of it. But anyhow, this is Gooderham, and it was between HL's Moth here, by Kathy Barrick, I think. I don't have it up here. Anyhow, the winner is the Gooderham building. So yeah, I was pretty excited about that, the kit. So on YouTube below, comments below, it was 7 for Gooderham and 5 for moth. So very close on YouTube. But then when I did the poll, the poll was 63% for the Gooderham building and 37% for the moth. So it won, and I've made some pretty good progress on that. So I don't need to show you the picture of it, but here we are. Ooh, things are falling out. There it is. Oh, I love it. And it's going so well, so quickly. Because once, like, I'm getting a good chunk of the building, I got the roof done. So see, this is kind of where I'm at. Ooh, glare. There we go. So, yeah, I'm really pleased. Really, really pleased. And all that white, I think, is half stitch. So, or is it? Nope, that's full stitch, full cross. Oh, there's part full cross, and then as it blends outwards, they're halves. I thought so. But isn't that nice? I really like that. It's going to look so great in a nice dark black frame, and yeah, looking forward to that. And this is in a Sheba Designs bag that I picked up at the Peel Stitch-In a few weeks ago. I think it was December 1st, I think it was. 3rd? No, December 3rd. We were there. So that was fun. So yeah, I'll put that away later. Sorry. Too much noise and stuff. So thank you so much for all your voting, what you would choose. Like I said, I'm having fun with it, and I started both on my birthday and just relaxed and took my time. And mind you, I didn't start it till well into the afternoon. I just lazied around. I enjoyed myself. So then the following week, I went and met up with a friend for coffee, and she, as a knitter, I was like so touched and loved it, but she gifted me a pair of socks. So the yarn, I'll tell you quickly about the yarn. The yarn is from Ireland, and it's from Townhouse Yarn. Townhouse Yarn Clarendon sock yarn. And the pattern is, I don't think I'll be able to pronounce it, Asinach socks. It's Scottish, by Liz Cork. So I'll put it down here so you can see it, and I'll also link it down below. But isn't that gorgeous? I should have brought my sock blockers. I forgot them, but oh, I love them. I haven't been able to wear them because I've been waiting to show you guys on the podcast. But aren't they gorgeous? And look how the heel, the pattern goes around the heel. How can I show that? There. See? The pattern on this side, and it goes around. Let me just maybe do that. And so on the top of the sock, so this scallop pattern is only on the one side of the sock, but they continue it down to the heel. Like it's a great design. I love it. And the color, isn't that so pretty? So nice, and it feels delicious. Kind of feels like that Allegria, Manos del Uruguay, Allegria. Just so soft and squishy. So these will be on my feet probably tomorrow. But thank you. You know who you are. But as a knitter, you really appreciate getting something that took time and is beautiful. And I will cherish them forever. So I have good knitty friends. Very good knitty friends. Okay, so right, get myself settled here. All right, so the quilt behind me, it's a very basic quilt. It's a flannel. It's a flannel throw, and it was a plaid flannel fat quarter pack. So there's only 9 colors. That's all you see. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. So 9 colors in the fat quarter pack. Oh, wait, there might have been one more and I couldn't fit it or something like that. The math wouldn't have worked. So all I did was sew it together, like piece it together along the edges. Sewed it, the backing. The backing is just a black polar fleece. And then what I did was I tied it with chenille yarn, old yarn I had. One of them already came out, but you know, it's not really meant for that. But it looked cool because it was really dark black and fuzzy. So anyhow, I love it. It's one of my super cozy ones. The only thing I wish is that it was a tad bit longer. So it's definitely just for your lap as opposed to your lap and up here to stay warm. But yeah, I love this. It's so cozy. So cozy. So there's no pattern. It's just sew the fat quarters. I cut off the salvage edges and sewed it together. That's pretty much all I did on each ends in a total grid, almost like a 9 patch pretty much, just rectangular. And yeah, so I've had this one for a while, but I'm looking for something kind of, because I was going to record this before Christmas. I realized that I am very short on Christmas quilts. Okay, so I have two. One's an applique, which I'm going to show you later. And the other one is, which I probably wouldn't really use. I'll explain more later. And the other one was the one I showed you last episode where I was doing the embroidery, this with the snowman and the ABCs, A to Z snowman, I think it's called. So those will take quite a bit of time to finish. So I have to rectify that and make some Christmas quilts. I had always intended to do some Christmas quilts for all of our rooms, just never got around to it. So now I'll just make them as throws and not for the beds because, you know, they're not as warm. Kids have their favorites and all that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, so yeah, look, you'll be seeing some Christmas quilts hacking up and I don't care the season. I'll make them anytime. So I'm going to try and whip some up so that I have some. But yeah, so very cozy, super warm. And the flannel, well, flannel's great, right? Nice and cozy. So on to what I'm wearing. So I'm not going to stand up because I have just capris on because it's warm. But this is the White Horse by Boylan Knitworks, which is Caitlin Hunter. She's the designer. So it's the White Horse, but mine's red. So I knit it in Patagonia Organic Merino Juniper Moon yarn. I can't remember the color name. I think it was Cardinal or something like that. I'm sorry. Maybe I'll put it down here because I'll have it downstairs. But I love it. Like the only thing that I would really change is this neck is snugger than I like. I would have liked it more down here, but it goes right from ribbing to lace, like right away. So yeah, anyhow, normally I'd wear like a turtleneck or a button-down shirt or something underneath, but because I'm sitting here talking to you in my nice toasty house, I can't do that. So anyhow, but I love it. Yeah, I could have went a size up, I think. But that's only because since I started it, which was a little while ago, I've grown a little bit. So anyways, I'll be working on that like everybody else in the new year. I'm not working so much on that. I'm fine. I'm comfortable who I am. I just want to move more so that I'm healthy and feel fit. I just want to feel fit and not tired and all that kind of stuff because, you know, as you age, all that menopause stuff starts to happen. So I'm trying to beat it to it. So in talking about getting fit, the last episode I showed you my tourist sweater. Put a pop-up picture. Well, actually, I'm going to pop up pictures over me or beside me or whatever on my hiking trip. So I told you I was going to wear it when I went hiking with my friend Karen, aka Zippy, and her husband. So we went on one walk, and then I went on another hike with them with a couple other friends and their doggies. And so you're seeing the pictures now. So yeah, I was toasty like that. I wore that with my runner's jacket when I used to go running, which I'm going to start again. But anyhow, it's very thin. It's water resistant and kind of slightly wind resistant with the reflectors. And I was warm. I had to take my mittens off each time. And they weren't super warm days, or not super cold, but still cold enough. And yeah, I had a great time. They're away right now. I got sick, so we had to delay me going anywhere. And then we had Snowmageddon. But they're away right now on a vacation. So when they get back, anyhow, sorry for the interruption. I put my do not disturb on, and for some reason my husband's call went through. Oh, probably because I picked him as one of the favorites where I don't know. Anyways, phones, technology. So I'm back. And I was just saying how when they get back, we're going to go on lots of hikes. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was just so beautiful. We were on the Bruce Trail and different other trails as well, but mostly along the Bruce Trail, which is an escarpment. And I'll put how many kilometers long it is. It's very long, the Bruce Trail. And my sister-in-law has walked it fully, but in pieces, twice, 2 or 3 times. Yeah, she's a avid hiker and loves it. But it's so beautiful in there. And as you could see with the pictures, like it's so calming. And, I took lots of deep breaths and I wasn't sore afterwards. I felt great. So I have to continue because why not? If something makes you feel great, you just keep doing it, right? Especially if it's good for you, right? So anyhow, let's move on to finishes. So I'm not here forever. I'm drowning on in your ear. We'll start with knitting ones. So my first one is my Branches and Buds sweater. Now I'm showing you this because more than likely I will not wear it here in an episode because it's a toasty sweater and I love it. So this is my Branches and Buds. Sans the buds. There's no buds. I didn't want to put them because you're supposed to embroider them on later. I was like, I don't need it. I'm rocking this. I love it. So this is one of my favorite sweaters. Slightly cropped, I guess, kind of to the top of my hips it goes. Nice wide neckline. I usually wear it with a button-down shirt underneath or a turtleneck. But it's with, so this is Branches and Buds by Carrie Bostick Hogue, or Hoge, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, Hoge. And I'll put pictures of the original pattern in the name. And I use Juniper. I think this is a Juniper Moon episode. All my knitting stuff is with Juniper Moon. Anyway, just notice that. So this is Juniper Moon Stargazer, which is an alpaca. I'll write down here what the combination is. But it's alpaca mixed with something else. It's so warm. It's so soft. I love this sweater. I love it. Can't remember the colors. I didn't write all that stuff back then on my Ravelry, unfortunately, when I did it, because I've done this a while ago. But yeah, this is like the kind of tan. It's a tan color. Almost looks white on here, but it's tan, a light tan with a nice burgundy. Oh, it's one of my favorites. Very warm and toasty and soft. So all the good combos you want in a knitwear. And the other one is a shawl, other finish, and it's Juniper Moon again. Neve or Neve, N-E-V-E is the yarn. It's 100% pure Peruvian Pima cotton. Let me make sure I got the right way. And the shawl is Fallen Cloud by Lisa Hans. So there you go. So it's got a cable down the one side and just garter stitch for the rest. But because it's the Peruvian cotton, Pima cotton, it's so squishy, not too heavy, and just like, look at that definition. That's just lovely. Isn't that pretty? I really love this shawl. I have to wear it more often, so that's why I have it out. Look, even the edge. You did the cabled edge thing. That looks hard, but it wasn't. It wasn't hard at all. I'm really pleased how that turned out. Like, why am I doing that? Choking myself. Trying to show you this thing, but up close, look at that cable detail. Can I see? I can't see. There. Isn't that, look at the definition on that. Yeah, I'm really proud of this one. Oh, a snag. Came out really good. And yeah, this is one of my favorites. I think I'm gonna leave that out because it's not, it's so soft, but because it's so, it's like a worsted weight, it's really, it would keep you warm even though it's cotton, but also will keep you cool. Does that make any sense? I really love it. I really, really love it. So I'm going to put that in a special place so I make sure I wear it more often. That's the thing. Sometimes, like, I don't go to many places. Well, it seems like I do lately, but I go around town. So unless it's super, super cold, and half the time I'm in like track pants and a hoodie and that kind of stuff. So, and lately I've been running a little hot, so that might be coming too, but anyways, I gotta reach for them more. So I have them all folded and out in the open so that I can see them more and grab them. Yeah, so I think January is going to be a massive organizing month, sort of. I'm going to be so busy. So I'll try and fit it in. But anyways, more about that later. So for quilting, I have a table runner, and it's a table runner class that I used to teach, and it was the Celtic knot table runner. We initially got the pattern from, hold on, I forgot to get it right here. Initially it was from a magazine, but we tweaked it a bit. Or yeah, it was from a magazine. So theirs was called the Golden Plate Runner by Marilyn Hornby. What magazine was it from? I only have a copy of it right now, my working copy. But anyways, I'll show you that part because then I can illuminate that. So theirs was all the way, like the whole thing was braided. So the shapes around it were all the outsides. So we adapted it a little bit to go on top of a background. So it was done slightly different. We didn't bind our edges. We used fusible bias tape and then stitched it all down along the edges. We used well, Wonder Under or Heat and Bond. There's all kinds of different ones, but it's the one where you draw it and it's sticky on both sides. So it's applique, raw edge applique, but instead of doing a stitch, we just put the fusible bias tape on the edges, and then just did a basic echo stitch around. I didn't want to get too crazy with all the stitching because these are all stitched down. Like it's going nowhere. So if you look at the back, I picked a pretty gold and white poinsettia fabric for the back. But if you see, there's all the stitches, how you go around each and every one of those bias tape ends. So you had I did two sides. So yeah, it's labor intensive, but I think it has such a fantastic look to it. If I go like that, there, you get to see it all. Not me, but yeah. So this was a really fun class. I remember teaching this quite a few times, and yeah, I think it's lovely. So we had ladies that did it with Christmas. We had one that did it with Halloween. Another with like bright, funky turquoises and pinks and all that kind of stuff. And one lady did it with a bunch of different sized dots, like polka dots, and different colors. It looked really cool. So yeah, so that's the finished projects that I'm going to show you today. This goes on my buffet usually. I don't tend to change it. It's sort of seasonal, but not. It's not really. It's a lot of metallics. Yeah, it's really pretty. So it'll go back on my buffet. I had all this stuff ready on the 18th in my 31 tote bin thing, because I was ready to go. I went out to run some errands, and then when I came back, I felt horrible. Horrible. It just hit me. So anyways, it's too bad. I would have liked this to have come out before, but it's all good. You get the craziness now. I know I was very busy watching Flossmas and Vlogmas. So that's where certain YouTubers, Flossmas is cross-stitching. That's FlossTube. If you're into cross-stitch, you watch FlossTube. And then Vlogmas is just other people, so other crafters that I watch and stuff. And they do daily videos. I don't know how they have the time for it, but they do daily videos of little snippets of what they've done for the day or getting prepared for, like the Christmas holiday. And yeah, so I don't think I will ever do that. I won't. I know I won't. I don't have it in me. But yeah, so I enjoyed watching all of them, but there's quite a few that I do watch. So when I was laying there sick, I had lots of time to catch up and watch them all. And so I don't know that people would have got to watching me anyways, because we're all watching those things. All right, so we're going to talk knitting WIPs. We're on to WIPs. And this one, I was going gangbusters, but then I stopped because I had the birthday starts and, but I'll get back to it. You know me. And this one is the Festive Pullover by Skein-Deer Knits. The yarn I'm using is, I should just pull it all out, my giant cone of Holst Garn Super Soft yarn in color ink. So it's black with Juniper Moon, again, Juniper Moon, Harriet Fine in their red. Oh, I love this red. So pretty. But, so it's a color work sweater where you get to choose your motifs as you go. So I'm just starting it off kind of like her basic one to start. And then once I pass this certain point, I'll start picking the ones that I want, because I like kind of what she started with the snowflakes and stuff, because then you're not going to get snowmen in inappropriate places or anything like that. So I'll watch for that. But look how it's coming. Okay, I want to work on this now. Isn't that so pretty? So I'm about here. Pretty much. Did the short rows. There's all my short rows back there. And so this will be, this will be my front. Oh, doesn't that look stunning? So the version that Skiing Deer, I'll put a picture here. She does hers cropped, but I won't. I'll do mine a little bit longer. It'll probably go to my hip, top of my hip, like most of my sweaters. So I have a little bit more motif playroom than she did on hers. But isn't that nice? Like next Christmas, I'll be wearing this for sure. I love it. I love it. I love it. And so this is one of my large drawstring bags, and everything fits. You'd be surprised what fits in these things. You can fit a whole sweater's quantity in here with the sweater. So the red, and then my snazzy project. Yeah, I gotta get back to that. Gotta get back to that. And if you see here, this just makes life easier when you're doing, oh, I should talk about the yarn again too. But when you're doing color work, this has been my savior. These stitch markers in between. Because it's whatever stitch repeat, 10, 12, 16, 20, whatever. But I do it at each stitch repeat, and then I can look back and make sure it's correct before I go into the next one. So then I don't have to think back 4 or 5 rows below and do all that kind of stuff. I catch it right away and I can think back just in those little few stitches. So it definitely helps. Sometimes with some sweaters, you'll have to take it off, do like a knit 2 together. Like if you're decreasing or increasing or doing something like that, you'll have to take it off and then put it back on. But for me, it's totally worth doing that step so I don't screw up and then have to think back. Because, you know, when I'm knitting, I'm sitting in my living room on my sofa with some kind of YouTube on. So I'm looking down and up, mostly looking up, but I'm watching and I get distracted as you do. So yeah, so these definitely help in case people were wondering what those were for. And when I was mentioning how move that out of the way, I hold my yarn. So usually I knit like this. I go like this and then I put it over and I knit. That's how I do it. But when I'm doing color work, one will be having issues here. I tension my yarn here. Usually that yarn ball is over there. And then I just have where I'm normally doing it here. And then I just go in and I can work this way with the color on that hand and then work normally how I would normally on this hand. So that's how I do it with this one. It would be handy, but I think I would have to work with my tension to do this. They say continental knitting is faster, but for me, I'm very fast and efficient doing it the way I learned from my Nan. My Nan taught me. Okay, put that down there. So the other project I was working during this time frame was I'm a Patreon for Bakery Bears. Kay and Dan. Is it Kay? I think so. And their advent this year was a stocking. So I had access to that. So I think I showed you the colors in my last episode. So here are the 3 from Estelle and Vintage, Barocco Vintage DK, and Estelle double knit. So those are my colors. I won't go over the colors again. But yeah, I'm more or less finished, but then I lost some steam because, you know, the sickness. But there's my color work. It hasn't been blocked or anything, but it was a nice giant stocking. I finished the foot, so now I just have to do another Latvian braid, like here. Move that out of the way. And then the toe. And I can't remember the colors that they have to be in. But she does a nice lace top, Latvian braid. These all represented different things. So this was snow falling on the town of London. London buildings, and then the reflection in the Thames. That was their meeting, and then snow on the ground. And this is the brickwork for the chimney, she said. I can't remember what this was for. Nope, don't remember. Trees, I think. Anyhow, but isn't that pretty? It came out so nice. So I might do variations in different colors, like greens and stuff, so we each have one. I might. We'll see. But yeah, I'm almost done. I just have the Latvian braid and then the toe. But I did run out of steam when I was healing there. But yeah, so that was really fun. And then, you know, as being a patron, they do a lot of extra stuff during their Advent, and, you know, stuff in England and tours and stuff. I really enjoyed it. It was my first time participating in that, so it was really good. Okay, so my other WIP is a cross stitch WIP. So this was what I got when I went to Stitch North back in April of last year. And what I was trying to do, so this is the pattern we got. It's a Stitch North sampler, so I'll show you the pattern. We got the fabric and the Roxy Flossco floss that matched. So everything here is to pattern. And what I was trying to do, the thread's still on there, sorry, but I was trying, this is my project where I'm going to try, and it's snowing. It's snowing outside. Try and practice stitching in hand. So it goes okay. It's something I have to still really concentrate when I'm doing it. But I think the stitches look okay. They look pretty neat. I'm anal, I guess, for how they look. Because my preference is two-hand stitching. So my right is in the back of the work, my left is on the top of the work, and I kind of do this when you're doing the X's. But it would be handy not to have to pull out, you know, the lap frame and Q-snap and all that kind of stuff. But I'm not comfortable yet doing this, which surprises me because I sew. Like, for me to do binding on a quilt, a queen size quilt, I can do in an evening. Like, it doesn't take me long, and I keep all my stitches super close. It's so meditative, and I just really enjoy it. So, but yeah, I think it looks great. But I still have work to do. So I brought it with me to the peel stitch in thinking, oh, I'll do it there. No, I needed to concentrate, and the lighting wasn't really the best. You need super duper good lighting, I think, for me, for learning on this count of fabric. I think this is 32 count. What did I get? Did it say here? Yes, 32 count linen. Peanut brittle. So 32 count peanut brittle from Roxy Flossco. And you can get it at Evertote, evertote.com. And I'll put the details down below. And then all the Roxy Flossco flosses. So here's the floss rings. And those were the colors. Yeah, really pretty. So I'm going to really try hard to get working on that, see how far I can go, because it would really be handy. Like the small ones I do, no problem, but I do it stab method, right? Those little minis that I do, because it's nice to have those in a hoop. And anyways, so yeah, this is what we got at Stitch North. I'm looking forward to Stitch North 2023. It's getting closer because, you know, it's we're in 2023 now, so before long I'll be talking about that, so that should be fun. Okay, so my quilting WIP. I feel like I'm rushing. I'm really sorry if I'm like, ah, I don't mean to be, but I am. Okay. So this quilt has been very long in the making. It's called Christmas Windows. It's a hand applique project. So I'm doing it where I'm turning the ends in and doing the applique. Okay, let me just show you the pattern. I'll show you my one square I have done. One square. And again, you know me, I'm anal and I have to go in order. Anyway, so here we are. This is what it'll look like when it's done. So it was one of those block of the months a long time ago. So I got all the pieces in, you know, their bags. Block number 2. See, I got it all cut and ready to go. So I go in order of the bags that we receive. So this one is block 1. Yep, block 1. I'm going in order. So the colors are just stunning. This one will never go really on a bed. I think it'll end up being hung eventually somewhere in a house. But here is my first block. I'm sorry, I didn't iron it. It was ironed eons ago, and then, you know, it's moved around in my studio quite a bit. But I love this quilt. I think it's absolutely stunning, but it does take time to do, especially all these curves, right? So I've researched different techniques. I think the one that I like the best to follow is Jan Paddock. She has a ton of videos on YouTube. So if you just do hand applique with Jan Paddock, you will she has a whole playlist of them, and I watch them all. I watched them all and got some hints and tips. But what I've used for my threads, like all my bias strips are done. They're all ready to go. I made them all for all the stems. So you have to pre-make all these in different sizes. So they're all ready to go. And yeah, anyhow. So what I use is Invisifill. It's by Wonderfill. Yeah, Invisifill by Wonderfill. And it's a soft poly. I don't know what else I can tell you. Weight 100. So it's very fine. So very, very fine. And it's very soft. So it kind of works like a silk thread. You can't even see that. Let's see. Like, look how fine that is. So when you're appliquing with it and you're appliquing into the fold, look how fine that is. It just melts in, so you don't see it as much. See, I gotta work my corners better. See, I'm half tempted to redo this block, but as I went along, I got better because I watched Jan Paddock. Let's see if, yeah, this one was better. I got better as I went along. So I'm going to give that a good press and kind of get those kinks out. I'll work those out. But as I went along, I got much better. So we'll see as I do the next few blocks, because there's a lot of curved edges in this. And there are different techniques where you can use like this. I already have all the freezer paper cut out, but you can use all this kind of fusible stuff where it has an edge and you don't have to take it out. And anyways, I'm sorry. I'm just blah, blah, blah. I shouldn't be. But the second one has been started. So I'm well on my way. You can see already my curves look better than the first one. I'm pleased. I feel much better with this one. This is block 2, and I have quite a ways to go yet. But I'm looking forward to bringing this out. And this is just the Frixion pen. the Pilot Fix-On pen. Do I even have that in here? No, because I got them all drawn already. This stuff just irons out. It disappears and irons out. But if you have it in a really cold place, say like the trunk of your car, they will reappear, which is fine because that saved me once. But all you have to do is either toss it in the dryer or iron it again and they disappear. And after a while, after so many washes, it'll never come back, right? The strength of that power will diminish. But yeah, I did, I'll probably show it soon. I did a couple of embroidered pillows, like cushions. You'll see the theme and all that stuff. I won't tell you too much about it. Anyhow, when I was doing it, I had forgotten to put a fusible back on it so that it hides the extra threads that are in behind and all that kind of stuff. So usually when you do embroidery, you have a muslin backing or interfacing or anything like that. So I like to use a thin fusible interfacing. And I forgot. I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to redraw these all again and blah, blah, blah. Anyways, I remembered someone saying that if it gets cold, those marks will come back. So I ironed on my fusible interfacing on the back, and sure enough, on the front, it all disappeared. And I stuck it in my chest freezer and left it in there for about 12 hours. It didn't even need that. I wanted to make sure it stayed. But within 10-15 minutes, I peeked on it and they all came back, all my marks. So yeah, it was very handy. I was glad I heard that tip because it saved me from redrawing everything. But yeah, so I have a whole strawberry bin. These are for my strawberries. No, tomatoes. Cherry tomatoes. Of all my Invisifil in all colors for this project. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back to that. Christmas windows. This is the problem showing you guys everything. I just want to work on everything. I want to work on everything all the time. And then I start new things because, you know, it's New Year's Day. So new year, new starts. So that's coming up. So one thing I was telling you guys is that before, because these are my notes from before I was doing it, I was going to say I had all my Christmas shopping done. Nothing was wrapped yet, blah, 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 blah. Anyways, I had a great time. I typically don't do New Year's resolutions. Why? We know they tend to fail a bit, but my goal, not as a New Year's resolution, it started beforehand, was to try and get fit. So that's going to continue on. And the one thing I am going to be doing is working on a plan, like a full menu plan for our family dynamics right now. So like my one son, he works at Foodland, so sometimes he's not here, and I've been busy with multiple jobs. My husband's been very busy at work, like very busy. So he works from home, and we both like to cook, so we share in those duties and such. But yeah, it's just a very busy time. So we find we're like, oh, did you have an idea for dinner? No. Did you? No. What are we going to have? And so we're not making good choices. And we're having to throw out more than I would like. Like, you know, I had a delicious one I bought a couple of sweet potatoes. One we used in a dish and the other one I was waiting, but then I got busy and then I got sick and then and we had to throw it out. Nothing irks me more than throwing stuff out. Especially food. I love healthy food like vegetables, fruits and vegetables. I forget about them and then I don't eat them. Or I'm lazy and don't feel like cooking. And so anyhow, I find that when I stick with a menu plan, I do better. So this is my new plan. well, it's not a new plan, but I'm going to devise a really good plan for us to do that and have areas for adjustments so that, we'll have rescue meals. That's what I'm going to call it. Rescue meals to make quick that are still healthy and utilizes the stuff that we tend to buy. So one thing about me, maybe one day I'll show you my ginormous, and I mean ginormous. I just added a bunch more. We're not going to get into that. The family makes fun of me. But anyways, I have a ginormous cookbook collection. I love cookbooks. I read them like they're books. I read about the recipes. They all tend to have a story. Why they made this, who they got the idea from, passed down from who, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, I have a lot, but I do use them. My son Rowan said to me, do you ever cook recipes? I said, yeah, I do. But yes, I do use it. It's more, a lot of times it's for inspiration. But I have a lot, but I'll show you one day. It's all good. So I'm going to be doing that, planning. And then I'm also going to try, I can't really plan for crafting because as I explained in my first video, I'm a mood crafter. So whatever mood I'm in is what I'm going to craft on. So, but I am going to do a quasi kind of plan. And again, not to bang on that drum anymore. When I was sick, I wasn't in the mood the brain function wasn't there to think and contemplate and recheck all my works in progress of all crafts. I just didn't have it in me. So hopefully this week I'll be able to get that kind of done. And so I might discuss it on my next podcast, kind of what my quasi plans are for my crafting. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. I know me, but anyhow, because it is a new year, it's January 1st. A lot of crafters do new year, new start. Some do it on New Year's Eve. Some do it on New Year's Day. I'm doing it late in New Year's Day because what time is it? It's 1:35. So by the time I dismantle and finish talking to you, it'll be close to 3 o'clock. So anyways, so I am going to start 2 projects, one knitting, one cross stitch. Now, technically, I was supposed to be starting Modern Folk Embroideries 2023 Sal today. But I was a little slow on deciding my fabric and thread choices or floss choices, and I bought them all from Evertote, but I purchased it when they were on their holiday break, so I won't get it till next week probably, which is fine. I'll start whenever. It's a start along, really, because it is dense. I will put a picture of it right here. It is massive. It is gorgeous, and I love, his name is Jacob de Graaf. I love his designs, which you've seen already, multiple of them. And of course, it's a big one because why do small ones when you can do ginormous ones? But anyhow, I jumped that bandwagon when he showed it. I bought the pattern directly from him, but you can also get a hard copy from Evertote, as well as the linen and the floss. So I got my linen and floss there. I wanted it to be, a kind of group kind of thing with Modern Folk Embroidery and Evertote and Roxy Flasco. So I picked some colors. So I'll show you all those when I get it, and I'll probably have started as soon as it comes in. Yeah, I know I did. Well, but since we're on to cross stitch, I will talk about what I'm going to be starting today. So, I'm pretty sure I showed you this pattern. I think I did. Anyways, I'm going to be doing Forever and Ever by Brenda Gervais. This is to commemorate my mom. So my mom passed away almost 2 years ago now, in March 2021. And I'm going to be doing this in commemorative to her. So it says, in my heart, forever and ever. And then it has years. So the designer did this for her parents' 70th anniversary, I want to say. There's the whole story. Anyhow, so I'm going to change something here to reflect my mom. I haven't decided yet. Forever in my heart, Mom. I don't know. I'm going to rework that whole bottom. But I love it. I think it's so pretty. So I'm going to be doing it in Roxy Flosco Ada. So it's linen, 36 count, dirty porcelain. So there's the color. So this is when I went to their open house and I bought this then. So it's going to be on the 36 count. And I have all the called for floss for it. So it's a combination of Classic Colorworks and Weeks. So I haven't organized them yet. So I'll be doing that before I start anything. But there it is on that linen. That's going to be really pretty. Really, really pretty. So I am going to start that today at some point. And when I have brain power, I will work out what I'm going to word down there. I have to play around with it. But I have lots to do before I can get to there anyways, so I have loads of time. And then my knitting project, I showed you the yarn when I bought it. I'm going to be making Tassels in the Sky. I'm not sure who it's by, but I'll be putting it up here for you to look at, and I'll write it down here. But I'm using Full Moon Fibers Lagoon Moon Rock Slub. Isn't that cool? All those little slubby bits. So it goes thin, thin, thick, thin, thin, thick, like a blob. But it looks really cool. So what I'm going to be doing is holding it together with this Etna, which will make it soft and squishy. So this is, because I can't do mohair, it's too picky on me. So 42% virgin wool, 40% cotton, and 18% cashmere. So, it's so soft. So I have no problems with it. Like, it's not doing anything to me like mohair, or even sometimes alpaca will do it, but alpaca I seem to be able to get over it, whereas mohair I can't. Oh, even touching it, sometimes it'll get a spot in my eczema when I'm at the shop, and it's like, it really hurts. It pokes it. But anyhow, so I'm going to be doing that. So the thing with this pattern is they suggest, or someone suggested, I think it was Knits and Pieces, Noelle and Kelly. I think they made it. And they suggested doing the tassels first, those 3 big tassels that are on it, so that you have enough, and then you just use up what's left of the yarn that you have. So I have 2 of these and 1 of these, and I work it till it's done, and then I'll have a lovely shawl, a lovely squishy shawl that I think I'll wear a lot. So those are my New Year plans. So feel free to tell me what your plans for the new year are for you. Who knows? You may give the rest of us some ideas. Yeah, I'm looking forward to 2023. Yeah. Just, you gotta go day by day. That's how I go with life, day by day. And I try and make the best of it each day. That's all we can do, right? That's all we can do. So again, thank you for joining me. Happy New Year to you all. I wish you all a wonderful, happy, joyous 2023. And feel free to come back, listen to my shenanigans and all the going-ons. And yeah, I'm just rambling now. So I'm going to say goodbye. So take care. Happy New Year. And I'll see you in my next episode. Bye.